What's up, fishermen and fisherwomen? You're watching Tackle Time with Real Jedi. Now, today we're going to go over a little bit of tackle rigs to target inshore species. Jacob Smith approached me on YouTube and left me a comment asking about targeting tripletail, reds, and other inshore species. But today we're going to specifically focus on tying a rig to fish for red drum and black drum. So first, we've got our spinning rod here. This is an inshore slam, medium heavy action. This is a Sienna Shimano 4000. We have 20-pound braid on here. For fishing for redfish and drum, personally I would suggest Invisalign 17-pound. We have braid on here because we've been doing a lot of offshore fishing. This is 17-pound Invisalign. That's what we're going to use for a leader. Doesn't say Invisalign on it, but that's what it is. I put it on here. I'm going to get closer to tie this knot so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Alright, this is a 1.5 ounce egg weight sinker. Now as you can see, I've spray painted it brown, just experimenting with different things. Not really sure if it works better or not. Caught fish either way. But take our egg sinker, put it on the main line, and after that, these are glass clear beads. Now this serves for two purposes. One, I'm going to be tying directly to my monofilament leader, so it prevents the egg weight from slipping down onto my hook. Two, you can jerk it if you're not getting a bite every now and then, and it will produce sound in the water that the fish can hear from pretty far away, especially if it's cloudy or dark. That definitely helps, and it will attract the fish. They hear that clanking noise and they think, you know, what's going on over there? Is that a fish making that noise? Especially predator fish, they come to that. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to tie our 17-pound monofilament Invisalign on here for a leader. I'm going to tie a double uni-knot. You get both tags and face them the opposite way. So one tag facing one way, one tag facing the other way. Alright? Get you enough room on each tag to where you can tie this. Start maybe 4 or 5 inches down. Grab your tag. So you got both of them facing the other way. Alright? Grab the tag that's facing down away from you and make a loop. Make a loop with the tag like so, and then just go over that loop maybe 8 times. With lighter line, you want to do this 6, 7, 8 times. Now with heavier line, it's not really necessary. You can do it like if you're using 40, 50 pound mono or fluorocarbon, you can just tie about 4 times and that'll hold. Believe me, I've taken all these knots and tied them to a nail and pulled and pulled and pulled and tested until I broke them, so I know if they work or not. You want to do the same with the other tag on the other end. So you did it with one tag, now we're doing it with the other tag. Alright, and then you just pull it tight. Pull the tag tight on both ends. So, as you can see, the tag is tight. Then you wet the line. You always want to wet your line when you're tying knots so you don't fray it. That's the last thing you want, is a frayed line when you hook a big fish that you've spent all this time preparing your rig for. If you guys ever catch a fish, always check your line after you catch the fish, because there might be a chance that line's frayed and then you might catch a bigger fish on the next cast. Well, you won't catch it because it'll break. But you might hook one. Alright, now we just cut our tags off. Braid can be a pain sometimes to cut the tag, but you want everything streamlined as possible. I don't use a swivel. A swivel is not necessary because I'm using braided line. It's not going to twist like monofilament. Also, swivel is more bulky. The fish can see it better. Now sometimes I do have a problem with this weight getting tied up and tangled up like that. If there's a lot of current or I'm fishing straight down, usually not when I'm making a long cast. But if you do have that problem, all you have to do is just do this rig again, tie this rig directly to the line, and then take this weight and take the bead and put it on this. Put it on your actual, what I'm using as a leader right now. And then you can just use a uni knot to tie the actual leader on. So then you'll have a spot probably about yay long that the weight can slide up and down, and then you'll have it attached to your actual leader that goes to your hook. We're not doing that with this. So now I'm going to use about 3.5 feet. It's about arm to chest length. Cut it off here. We're going to tie the hook on there. Now I'm going to tie a Palomar knot. This by far is my favorite knot. My father taught me how to tie this knot when I was a kid. I think this is the first knot I learned to tie when I was bass fishing. So tie a Palomar knot, take the tag, fold the tag in half like so. Take the folded tag, stick it through the eyelet of the hook, pull it out enough to make a loop. Make that loop and then bring the hook back through. Pull it kind of tight, turn your tag up, wet it, pull your tag tight. Cut it as close as you can get to that knot without cutting the knot. So there we have it. We've got a streamline rig. Now, this hook is a #1 Gamakatsu octopus hook. And you're thinking, wow, that's a small hook, but if you have any disbelief in my tactics, look at some of the pictures of the redfish and the big black drums I've caught. So, let's go over tackle real quick about light lines. Do you ever wonder why that guy on the pier or on the beach is over there catching these huge red drum or these huge black drum, and they're fishing with a rod and reel they bought from the pier, or they're fishing with a rod and reel they bought from the tackle store, or a Barbie rod and reel, or the little kid with a Barbie rod and reel hooks one, and you're over here with all this serious gear, you've got a high pound test leader on, you've got these big hooks, you're prepared for these big fish, but you're not catching them. And you're just thinking, what's going on? Well, I finally figured it out about last year. I was on the pier and I was just like, there's something to this. I'm always, doing the right thing and all this preparation. I'm not catching nothing. And this guy was down there, just caught 4 or 5 big black drum that were probably like 30 and 40 pounds. So I went down there and watched him. And I talked to him for a little while. And luckily, he was willing to share some knowledge with me. Well, he told me that he uses a 17-pound monofilament leader because the fish can see it. Guys, if you can see it, the fish can see it. So once you go over a 17-pound, that's whenever they can start to notice it. And I've tried this. You get broke off, say a blue comes and breaks you off. Well, you're like, oh man, I just got broken off. I want to tie a bigger leader on so I can catch it. Something with a higher pound test. Tie a bigger leader line on, well, you stop catching fish. Anyways, the fish we're going after don't have teeth. We're going after black drum, we're going after redfish, they don't have teeth. So there's really no reason for a high test pound leader. Yeah, you might have a shark come and break you off, but retie if you want to catch that big drum or that big red. Also, as you see, I got the weight on here. With this, I've caught more fish with a weight and the bead there than I have without one. I've actually had times where I wasn't getting a bite, and I jerked that weight and popped that bead, and instantly after that I had a fish come bite my line. Now, another reason I'm using a small hook like this is because we're going to be using live finger mullet. These mullet are anywhere from this long to this long. We're also going to be using tiger minnows. Now, anytime when you're hooking live bait, you want to use a hook that's in proper proportion to your bait. So let's say you've got a 6-inch mullet, finger mullet that you're using, and you stick a 3/0 hook in that 6-inch finger mullet. Well, that hook is half the size of the finger mullet. So that really looks odd to the fish. I know you guys that have fished a lot have seen a fish come up, look at your lure, you think he's going to bite, and then he turns away. Why do you think that is? That's because they see the hooks, they see the line, they see the leader, they know something's up, they get close, they think it's a bait fish, and then they say, oh, something's wrong here, I'm turning away, and you don't catch the fish. Trust me, if you're having fish looking at your bait, they're not biting it, lighter hooks, lighter leader line. Now Jacob asked me about fishing for tripletail. If you want to target tripletail, you basically need to scan the top of the water for floating debris. That's what they'll look like. They'll look like a log or something floating up to the top, maybe like a big flounder. Most of the time they do hang out around floating debris on the top. So just like if you're looking for cobia, target channel markers, target bridges, anything that's any kind of structure that's in the water by itself out in the open. They like to hang around the structure. And when you see them, they'll come up to the top and they'll almost look like a floating log or something coming up, and they'll just be sitting there. Well, that's how you find them. Now, catching them's a different story, and we'll get into that on another day. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy Tackle Time with Real Jedi.